Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
So, hello to everyone who has clicked on this video, likely expecting something big. My name is Retor Otaku, Retoro for short, and I'm effectively acting as the channel's representative this video to explain everything that has happened through the lifetime of SOK, and exactly how we're going to be moving forward in response. I myself have been a sort of hidden member of Super Origami Kingdom for quite a long time now, helping things behind the scenes and, most importantly for today, dealing with the drama and controversies as a person of pure logic and nearly limitless tolerance. Nearly. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm very young, but I do boast experience in helping people change for the better, acknowledging mistakes, and improving dire situations. And this does go for many of the other members of SOK too, let's not forget. At the end of the day, we're all young, some admittedly a lot younger than others, and as we all know, young people are bound to do stupid things. Lots and lots of stupid things. The only way that we learn is by being selfish, stupid idiots, and I think that's well known by most respectable people nowadays, so I needn't cover it much here. In terms of why particularly I've been chosen to write and deliver this video instead of one of the more iconic people in SOK, there are two reasons. Firstly, I'm not very associated with the Super Origami Kingdom brand yet, and I haven't been involved with any of the controversies, since I joined quite a while after most of them occurred, ironically unaware that they even happened in the first place. Secondly, I have a much more eloquent way of handling words than most of the members, with the aim here being to deliver the information to you as cleanly, concisely, and not annoyingly as possible. Yet again, I remind you that I am still very young, and likely to mess up here and there, and for that I do apologise, but I'm trying my best to play my part to remedy quite a serious set of issues here. I have spent a long time deciding what type of tone to use for this video, perhaps a comedic one to show the progression of everyone on New Horizons. No, that's simply going to make people feel like I'm glossing over the frankly disturbing things that have happened in and around SOK. So I'm intentionally going to be tackling this with nearly no emotion whatsoever. The same goes for the small editing style of this video, and the lack of music as well. It's simply just to be keeping it serious and professional here. Before I truly start though, I would also like to ask that any viewers of this video do not take to the comments of any of the members either involved or not involved with any of the events that have unfolded and start berating them. Several innocent members of the group have recently been targeted by trolls and haters who quite frankly have been using a lot of obscene language that I do not wish to show or repeat. I will intentionally in this video be leaving out the names of certain offenders or individuals for their own protection too, so please bear that in mind. The last thing anyone wants is more issues to be caused by this video that is supposed to have a positive message in the end. Anyway, let's get into it. Firstly, it is important to cover the history of the channel and the likely events that have led up to these issues to make sure that everyone is on pace. As many of you likely know, SOK and many of its core members are known well for making rant-based videos, in which they proceed to tear a piece of media to shreds for the entertainment of others. While funny for many, this type of content is also seen as childish, inappropriate, or derogatory of either the original works or the person doing the ranting by many people, leading to what I believe is an effect where the audience begin to devalue the members. This, of course, attracts the attention of critics and haters who wish to tear apart the creators and their opinions, leading to a dangerous spiral that has historically gone very badly for the channel and its members, thanks to some incredibly poor handling of the situations presented. Most infamously is Dog Eating Dog 6's rant on Modern Family Guy, featuring what has been described before as a childish man yelling at the top of his lungs by many people. Obviously a lot of people found this video funny, as it was intended to be. I can assure you that Dead Six hurt his throat a lot recording the video, just for the purposes of your entertainment, but the video also attracted a lot of controversy, likely due to Dead Six's lack of inclusion of a trigger warning and parody warnings as well in his videos. Granted, this likely wouldn't have been too bad on its own, but also coupled with a much more serious issue at the time, the infamous Omni King drama, it really got out of hand. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of the Omni King case, mostly because Dead Six released a full 2-hour-long video cursing and exposing them, and that's what I'm here to talk about, the video. This video was, quite frankly, a terrible idea. In fact, being an object of ridicule on the private Super Origami Kingdom Discord server ever since. The decision to make and release this video was not well supported by the other members at the time, and still isn't for fairly obvious reasons. To summarise, Dead Six in this video sent death threats to minors. Clearly a big issue, and a blatant showing of bad morality, or blindness to consequences. Reasonably, this angered a lot of people. Recently, with encouragement and help from others, including myself, Dead Six owned up to everything and expressed desires to right the wrongs he had made after his mistakes had continued to eat him mentally for a long time. Personally, I feel like he has a genuine change of heart here, and is willing to right his wrongs. And with this on everyone on SOK supports him, honestly. The real issue is the question of how to apologise for making unprecedented death threats to some young delinquents, for lack of a better word. It's a hard task in our modern society. Anyway, we now continue to the next major issue faced by the group, being called the Dark Ages by most members. This entailed a series of uninvited and uncontrolled new members joining the server with no prior consent from the group's owner, MR.L, or co-owner Dead Six. The end result was a lot of civil war on Discord, and members of the server comparing membership to that of being in a corrupt country. Obviously, this parallel is hyperbolic and not intended to undermine the struggles of citizens living in unfortunate countries, but it does show just how infuriated everyone was at the time. Especially the times were plagued with lots of arguing, power struggles, and differences of opinion, which was not helped at all by MR.L's notably strict rule. After a lot of bannings, this eventually subsided, leading to the time when I joined the server blissfully unaware. Since my arrival, there have been several other big issues, and even ones that I've left out from before. I joined on the purposes of not causing distress for any of the other people involved. As many of you may have already figured out, we recently had a problem with a now ex-member, Zach Goes Red. I specifically placed an order of silence on everyone involved to keep events from leaking to the public, as not to cause problems for anyone, but since Zach has now proceeded to break this order on many separate occasions, I'm just going to spell it out simply for the good of Super Origami Kingdom that not a single member of SOK did anything wrong in this incident other than Zach, and he has confirmed this in his community posts from my knowledge. I do not want SOK to be blamed for something that we didn't do, so I'm just getting this out of the way now before it could expand into a massive issue. That is all I will leave this particular case at, because I do not believe that anyone involved would like me to elaborate further on the events of this Easter break. So it's now time to continue on to the more important part of this video. As you can clearly see, Super Origami Kingdom has been through a lot, and many of the founding members have left in disgust as a result. Fortunately, the group has been changed massively behind the scenes recently, and I'm proud to present the new SOK that has been developed in the aftermath of all this ridiculous drama. Now, firstly of note is that the channel owner has now been changed from MR.L to MR.L Productions, otherwise known as the founder of SOK. The reasoning for this is very simple. Literally every member on the server voted that L was a far better leader than MR.L, due to L's far superior promotion of free speech, relaxed rules, and strong morality. MR.L is of course still a member of SOK, and Dead Six is indeed still the co-owner, but from now on all executive decisions are being made by MR.L Productions. The next major thing of note has technically already been announced on the channel. From now on, SOK will be switching to positive content instead of rants. While the audience does likely expect humorous rant videos, the associated negativity has clearly not done much good for anyone involved, and thus we've decided to pivot away from that kind of content. All the rant videos currently in process will still be released, mind, because wasting the hard work putting to them is just stupid. I can, however, already confirm several positive movie and media reviews for the channel are coming, alongside a special new ranking video, and a possible theorising video for if a certain type of video game were made about SOK. I'll leave you all to speculate. So now it is time to conclude this rather unexpectedly long video for this channel. I can almost guarantee that in making and presenting this, I've likely resulted in attracting quite a few haters to both myself and the other members of the group, so I once again implore all of you, quite desperately, not to pester anyone mentioned throughout the video. What's happened has happened, and there's nothing we can do to change the past. I once again also remind you that this video was written and presented by the youngest member of the channel, so it's almost guaranteed that I've messed up somewhere in here, either with incorrect events, or accidental insensitivity, at least once, for which I openly apologise, if I have. On YouTube, I've always tried to entertain people, and keep everyone happy, but owing to my poor people skills, I'm often accidentally and unknowingly insensitive, especially in the real world. Obviously of note here is the new ownership of the channel going to MR.L Productions, alongside the pivoting to positive content to put behind the troubles of the past, and I can assure you, nobody currently on SOK who has been an offender during these aforementioned dramas is merely running away from their consequences. I'll make darn sure of that, considering as I'm slowly becoming the one who ends up dealing with all these things as the neutral party who everyone trusts. At the end of the day, I know I'm not perfect, and everyone on SOK, I can assure you, by now has had such a revelation. In fact, you two watching this video aren't perfect. and you can never be perfect no matter how hard you try. So what we ask is this: in the end, please grow up and change alongside us. Help us forge a better tomorrow, and support us from the sidelines. Now, thank you everyone for watching, and I hope I see you all soon in a proper debut video that doesn't involve me essentially compiling a court case worth of information on a group of Americans that I've never even met in real life. Well, anyway, with that said, goodbye everyone,